Exposure by Wilfred Owen. Hello Year 11, I'm going to give you a quick summary of the poem Exposure and talk about a couple of quotations that I would be learning off by heart if it was me doing the poetry exam. Okay, let's start with the title. So Owen chooses a deliberately ambiguous title which can be interpreted in a number of ways. The title is a great quotation to use because you're unlikely to forget it and it will be printed on the exam paper. So the word exposure can mean to uncover or reveal. It can also mean to make vulnerable or put in danger. It can also be about revealing or exposing the truth. And in many ways, Owen is using it deliberately to mean each of those different things in his poem. So Exposure is a First World War poem. Wilfred Owen was a soldier who fought and died in the First World War. He writes about soldiers lying awake at night in the trenches. He writes in the collective voice, so he uses we and speaks as if he is speaking for a group of people, perhaps to represent the experiences of many soldiers, not just his own. The soldiers are afraid both of being attacked and also of nature. In fact, it seems in the poem that nature is as dangerous as the enemy because it threatens them through cold and treacherous weather. The soldiers dream of home, but when they imagine going home, they find that the doors are shut to them and that in fact the people at home have perhaps forgotten them. When their thoughts return to the present, they contemplate their own death and whether the burying parties will be able to dig their frozen bodies out in order to recover them. If I was going to learn a couple of quotations from this poem, apart from the title, I would talk about the repetition of the short line, but nothing happens, which occurs at the end of a number of stanzas. It's a short, indented line, and it emphasises the futility of the situation, the futility of the war, which was largely a stalemate situation, and also the feeling that although perhaps at home people perceive war to be somehow exciting or dangerous, a lot of the time it's just very boring. I'd also learn the quotation, iced east winds that knife us. This is a use of imagery which suggests that it is the weather which is attacking the soldiers as much as the enemy, and this is a repeated motif throughout the poem.